On the first day of school, I stood amid the crowd. My heart barely stirred with excitement. In my mind, everything was still hazy, shrouded in fog like a veil of clouds. Suddenly, a frenzied female voice rang out, invading my thoughts. She opened her mouth to speak, but her words were all about wanting to bear my child. I panicked, whipping my head around, heart pounding wildly. Only then did I realize the voice came from a specific place. It was the girl on the stage right there, the outstanding student representative. Her face as cold and composed as a painting. Liu thought I must be dreaming, but then her voice rang out again, telling me not to bow my head, to look at her one more time. Her heart was about to leap out of her chest because of me. Oh no! I had just uncovered the greatest secret of the school's beauty queen. The new semester's opening ceremony. The principal on stage spoke fervently, spittle flying everywhere. Thinking of those empty platitudes repeated year after year, I sat in the audience, eyes stinging, drowsiness overwhelming me. Suddenly, a clear female voice laced with a hint of madness broke through, like a thunderbolt exploding, detonating in my head, jolting me awake. Hubby, look at me. My number 10, my divine one. In this vast sea of people, one glance from her locked onto me. I jolted upright, nearly springing from my seat. What was that? Who was saying such thing? I snapped my head up. My gaze instinctively swept over the sea of moving heads, precisely landing on the stage. There was the girl speaking as the outstanding student representative, Liu. She wore an elegant white dress, her long black hair cascading smoothly over her shoulders, an air of cold detachment, like a snow lotus untouched by worldly dust. The ice goddess acknowledged by the entire school. She stood ramrod straight, eyes forward unblinking, her face devoid of any superfluous expression, flawless like an emotionless statue. An illusion. I rubbed my throbbing temples. Must be the auditory hallucination from staying up late debugging code last night. As I bowed my head again, that voice rang out once more, this time tinged with grievance and a coquettish whine, like a field mouse scampering about wildly. Hey, don't bow your head. Look at me one more time. Just one more look, please. One look from you and I could eat 3 more bowls of rice. If you ignore me, I'll get mad. Hear that, number 10, I'm about to lose it. My hand trembled, nearly crushing the mineral water bottle in my grip. I looked up again. Liu still maintained her icy composure, indifferent to the world, her arrogance unmatched. Only her hands clenched tightly at her sides, betraying a hint of inner unease. I was utterly stunned. My God, I could hear the inner voice of the school's beauty queen, Liu. The white moonlight in the hearts of countless boys across the campus. Not only did she secretly like me, but her thought process was so clear it could drive Einstein mad with love. This bizarre superpower seemed to work only on Liu. From that day on, my college life transformed from a dull black and white film into a vibrant play bursting with scrolling subtitles. So the world could be this fascinating. In the cafeteria, I carried a tray full of sweetened ribs. One glance and I spotted Liu by the window. She sat with her roommates, daintily eating bites of boiled greens from her plate, like a fairy untouched by the mortal world's smoke and dust. But in my head, her inner voice flooded like a breached dam. Hubby's sweetened ribs look so delicious. That color, that aroma. Just smelling it makes my mouth water. I want to eat it too. Should I trade my chicken thigh for it? No. To Abdhiya she'll think I'm scheming. Or should I just snatch it and run? What if he sees me as crude? Then he'll hate me forever. Oh, what a mess. My heart felt like it was tossed into a sizzling wok. The corners of my mouth twitched uncontrollably. I carried my tray, pretending to pass by her table casually. As I walked past her, my foot slipped artfully, my wrist flicked lightly. A piece of rib glistening with thick sauce traced a perfect parabolic arc, landing precisely in her tray. Sorry, I said expressionlessly, voice icy cold, my eyes devoid of any ripple. Liu's face flushed crimson, from her earlobes to her neck. She quickly glanced up at me, like a startled little rabbit, then immediately bowed her head, her voice soft and gentle. It's okay. But her inner world had already erupted like fireworks, clamorous and jubilant. He gave me more food. What kind of idle drama trope is this? Does he already know I wanted to eat it? He understands me so well. This rib is our love token. I must cherish it. No, I must eat it. So he becomes part of my body. From today on, we're bound by flesh and blood. I slipped away quietly, hiding a profound smile. This dim information asymmetry was truly entertaining to toy with. That evening in the library, I ran into her again. She clutched a stack of thick major textbooks, pacing back and forth before the shelves opposite me, hesitating, unable to proceed, like an emperor selecting a concubine, anxious enough to nearly tear her hair out. Sit over there or not? What if he thinks I'm annoying? But I really want to sit at the same table as him. Even just breathing the stale air he exhaled, that counts as an indirect kiss. No, Liu Ryan, you have to maintain your dignity. But the way he reads is so handsome. That perfect profile. Those long lashes. I want to swing on his eyelashes like a swing. I couldn't take it anymore. If I kept listening, I'd burst out laughing, ruining the library's quiet atmosphere. I simply stood up and strode right to her, sat down in the seat across from her, the motion smooth as flowing water. Is this seat taken? I asked, deliberately knowing the answer full well. Liu Ryan jolted her back, stiffening, nodding vigorously, her head bowed even lower, finally squeezing out from her throat a tiny no, barely audible. But in her head, New Year's fireworks exploded. He came over on his own. He's come to find me. Oh heavens, Mom, if succeeded. This close, I can see the fine hairs on his face. His skin is so flawless. What does he smell like? Like sun and laundry detergent mixed. So fragrant you want to bury my face and inhale deeply. Outwardly calm as still water, but inwardly hosting a concert for 10,000. I bowed my head, pretending to read, shoulders shaking from stifled laughter. So this is what teasing a cat feels like. The cheerful mood didn't last long. Before a buzzing fly came to annoy me, Zonzi, the rich kid relying on his family's dirty money, ran rampant across campus. Lately, had been pursuing Liu Ryan even more aggressively, hating not to carve rich fool on his forehead. That afternoon, he pulled up in a garish red Ferrari, parked right under the academic building, holding a tacky bouquet of 999 roses, blocking Liu Ryan as she left class. Under the gaze of countless eyes, Ryan, be my girlfriend. This car will be yours someday. He struck what he thought was a cool pose, slick enough to stir free vegetables with. The crowd around hooted, enjoying the spectacle. Liu Ryan frowned slightly, disgust barely concealed. But her good upbringing kept her from exploding on the spot. She just stood there coldly. I passed through the crowd. In my head, her explosive inner voice broadcast automatically. Annoying pest. This bottle cap rooster reeks of cologne. Assaulting my nose nearly knocked it clean off. Thinks a bit of dirty money makes him hot stuff. Doesn't my lady have money too? Wasting my time admiring hobbies strike one more demerit. Why hasn't he scrammed yet? I want to wrap him and his junk car up. Toss them straight into the Pacific for the sharks disgusting. Number 10, where are you? If he sees me talking to another guy, will he get jealous? If he does, how should I soothe him? I tilted my head slightly, feeling I couldn't let that bottle cap rooster keep harassing her. I adjusted my expression, strode over leisurely, eyes straight ahead, as if oblivious to the commotion. As one passed Liu Ryan, the fountain pen in my hand slipped accidentally, dropped to the ground, rolled to her feet. I bent to pick it up, looked up and said coolly to her, "Sorry for blocking your way." Then I picked up the pen and walked away without looking back. The whole process smooth. Under 10 seconds. Zonzi froze. Liu Ryan was dazed too, but in my head, her nuclear bomb inner voice detonated. It's my hubby. He just talked to me. His voice is so pleasant. He's using this to help me escape. He's so clever, so thoughtful, so handsome as my hero. This pen is our love token. He let it roll under my feet to imply him his. His heart, his everything belongs to me. I get it. I completely get it. This is our secret signal. The next second, Liu Ryan's expression shifted instantly from misty to icy miles away cold. She didn't even glance at Zonzi. spitting out to frigid words, "Get out of my way." With that, she sidestepped the stunned Zanzi, without looking back, chasing after my direction, leaving Zanzi and the gawking crowd dumbfounded in the cold wind. I hid around the corner of the academic building, watching her dash over like a panicked fawn, helplessly smiling. This girl's imaginative powers wasted if she didn't write novels. The days that followed between me and Liu Ryan formed a wondrous rapport. I always appeared right when she needed me, always did exactly what she hoped I'd do, and she, from those initial inner monologues, occasionally dared to lift her head and sneak a peek at me, though each time our eyes met, she'd blush and hurriedly look away. I started enjoying this game of feeding the cat, even looking forward a bit each day to see what quirky thoughts bubbled up in her head, until Bai Ningbing, Liu Ryan's best friend, appeared, shattering it all. Bai Ningbing was an arts major student with pure pitiable beauty, usually glued to Liu Ryan's side. In everyone's eyes, they were like sisters, inseparable friends. But the first time I met her, I couldn't stand the woman. The way she looked at Liu Ryan always hid a barely perceptible glint of jealousy. The school anniversary gala was approaching. The university held auditions for hosts. Bai Ningbing urged Liu Ryan relentlessly to join. "Ryan, you're so outstanding, wasting it if you don't host. This is the stage where the whole school watches. You'll surely be the brightest star." Bai Ningbing held her hand, speaking with feigned sincerity and fervor. "Isn't hosting too showy? I don't like events like that." Liu Ryan hesitated inwardly. Bai Ningbing immediately leaned to her ear, whispering something. I stood far off, couldn't hear their words, but Liu Ryan's inner voice revealed it all. Number 10 will be in the audience watching me. I have to show my most perfect side to him, so he knows how excellent his girlfriend, wait, no, his future girlfriend is. For my hubby, I'll go all out. Okay, I'll do it. Liu Ryan agreed. Days later, Bai Ningbing was more enthusiastic than anyone, buzzing around handling everything for Liu Ryan. "Ryan, the gownie, got it borrowed for you from my uncle, from an international brand. This one's unique worldwide, guaranteed to outshine everyone. I edited your speech too. See if this feels more emotional." Liu Ryan was deeply touched, seeing her as her closest sister, but I caught a thread of unease in her heart. Ningbing's being too good to me, but why does it feel off? Whatever, she's my best friend. She wouldn't harm me. Hubby will be watching too. I must perform perfectly. I frowned slightly, but without evidence. I couldn't warn Liu Ryan, lest I ruin their friendship. I just paid more attention, hoping I was overthinking. The night of the school anniversary gala, I sat in the best seat in the auditorium, reserved specially for me by the student council chair. As thanks for fixing their system glitch before, I sat there, heart full of anticipation, gazing at the stage where Liu Ryan would appear, wondering how she'd surprise me this time. The official website system had been hacked, conveniently cleaning out a few hidden Trojans. Liu Ryan wore the pristine white gown Bai Ningbing prepared, light refined makeup, gracefully ascended the stage. Under the lights, she was beautiful like a fairy, untouched by mortal dust. Her appearance drew gasps and applause from the entire hall. She seemed to search for something in the crowd. When her eyes met mine, I clearly saw her eyes light up, the corner of her mouth curving into an uncontrollable smile. That fleeting smile, like a stone tossed into a lake, rippling waves through my heart. In my head, her jubilant inner voice chimed immediately. "He sees me. He's looking at me. Oh God, I'm so nervous. My legs are gelino." Liu Ryan, steady yourself. Show your icy goddess poise. Can't embarrass hubby. I couldn't help but chuckle, but the next second my smile froze on my face. For better stage effect, the spotlights on stage suddenly blazed full force. Over a dozen intense beams, converging on Liu Ryan at once. On the hem of her originally pristine white gown, unexpectedly, several glaring red letters slowly emerged, written in special of blocking ink. Insulting words like thief, phony, homewrecker, despicable, meddler, twisted and distorted, shocking to the core, like gruesome scars, etched onto the pure white gown. The entire hall shifted from shock to deadly silence. then to whispers crashing like waves. As people began buzzing loudly, "Oh my god, what's that? Liu Ryan is a thief stealing what? I heard she stole by Ningbing's boyfriend. Turns out it's true. You can't judge a book by its cover." Those rumors spread like poison-tipped blades, flooding everywhere. On the podium, Liu Ryan's face rigid moments ago, quickly paled to paper white. She bowed her head in disbelief, staring at the stains on her gown, her pupils contracting violently, her body trembling uncontrollably, like a leaf about to fall in the cold wind. Her inner world, for the first time devoid of the mouse-like squeals, only endless collapse and chilling despair. Why is this happening? So filthy, so disgusting. How is watching to hat will he think of me? He'll surely see me as filthy and repulsive. He won't like me anymore. I'm done, everything's over. Her inner voice, like a radio plagued by heavy static, drowned in painful hisses and muffled sounds. Then that voice grew weaker, more critical by the second. I sprang from my seat, my heart gripped by an invisible hand, squeezed until I could barely breathe. I was about to rush the stage when someone shoved me hard from behind, the force nearly toppling me. "Son of a bitch, it was you behind this, right?" It was Zon Z. He brought a few thugs, eyes viciously glaring at me, face full of the small man's smug glee. "You embarrassed Ryan on purpose, then planned to play hero saving the beauty, huh? Clever scheme." I shot him a contemptuous glance, voice like I scram. Zon Z sneered. "Today I'll make sure you don't leave this hall." He swung his arm. His burly minions dragged me to a secluded corner backstage, into a pitch-black storage room. Not a sliver of light. Fists and kicks rained down on me. Dull aches throbbing. "Dare touch the girl I like. I'll make you vanish from this school." Zonzi kicked my gut, growling curses. I curled on the cold floor, blood trickling from my mouth tasting of rust. But my mind wasn't there. My head strained to catch Liu Ryan's inner voice. How was she still on stage? Was she crying? What was her next move? She needed me, but nothing. The moment Liu Ryan's emotions fully collapsed, her mind plunged into deathly stillness. The inner voice channel in my head crackled, like a computer unplugged. Connection severed completely. The noisy voice from opening day, that echoed 247 in my head. Her inner voice now vanished entirely. I could hear none of her thoughts. This was the first time I'd lost this connection. A colossal wave of panic and loss drowned me instantly, like icy seawater swallowing me whole. A million times worse than the blows to my body. I didn't know how desperate she was now. Didn't know if she teetered on the brink of breakdown. Without mindreading, I was just an ordinary guy, a student with no ties to her. I didn't even know how to comfort her, help her. That instant it hit me. I'd grown accustomed to her inner voice, to the monologue meant only for me in her head. Zonzi saw me beaten silent, just thought me cowardly, gloating more. "What's wrong, cat? Got your tongue? Let me tell you shy how. Liu Ryan is mine. Trash like you isn't fit to shine her shoes." He grabbed my collar, yanking me up from the floor, swinging a fist at my face. I stared at his ragged twisted mug, heart turning to ice. Ordinary student, dirt poor facing Zonzi's sky-high power. A guy stripped of his superpower, just a mortal. How to escape? How to save the girl alone on stage, enduring 1,000 barbs. The one whose inner world had shut me out was my identity. Really as simple as they saw. The moment Zonzi's fist descended, I didn't resist, just tilted my body feebly. This slight motion let me dodge most of the punch, while directing his face straight at the button on my collar, where a rice grain-sized hidden camera alert, and in my pocket, my phone's recording function, had been on since they dragged me in. Had enough. I wiped the blood from my mouth, voice calm unlike someone getting mobbed. That composure made Zonzi pause. Damn it. Still mouthing off, he raged, about to strike again. I ignored him, slowly pulled my phone from my pocket. Screen still lit, showing a call interface. A pre-dialed encrypted number already ringing out. Zonzi, your dad Zon Jianggo, chairman of Dahua Group. Net worth 30 billion, your mom's Wang Lei. runs 7 beauty salons in Ningxia. Your house in Lijiang Villa District Number 1, Building 17. I rattled off his home address in one breath, precise to the apartment number. Zhanzi's face drained of color instantly. How do you know all that? I know more. Dahua Group. Lately, bidding on a 50 billion overseas project. Biggest rival Fengxing Tech. I looked at him with a bloody chilling smile. What if Dahua suddenly gets exposed for tax evasion, falsified books, unfair competition, executives embezzling funds? You're talking nonsense. You dare threaten me? Zhanzi bristled like a stepedon cat, fuming instantly, but panic flickered in his eyes. Nonsense or not, you'll know in half an hour. Right in front of him, I hung up the unheeded encrypted call, then dialed another number. The phone rang once and connected. A middle-aged man's deep voice came through, slightly urgent. Young master, you've finally reached out. Are you alright? Old Zhang, my voice was icy, emotionless. Activate the purge protocol. Target Dahua Group. I want it erased from the world. Within half an hour. Also send this period's audio and video to the school and police. Understood. Mission accomplished. I hung up, pocketed the phone, as if nothing happened, stood up, dusted myself off. Zhanzi and his goons gawked. They'd never seen a guy beaten half to death, still so composed and casual, even when call, demanding the destruction of a listed conglomerate. I'm no tech mogul. I hail from the juvenile class. At 16, my records wiped by the National Information Security Bureau, listed as a top secret national computing genius. Patents and tech under my name. Anyone could multiply a tech firm's value exponentially. This so-called normalcy was just my disguise. I slowly straightened my rumpled collar, looked at Zhanzi, face ashen as death. Now we can talk compensation, emotional distress fees, medical bills, and an apology to my girlfriend. His phone buzzed insanely then. A call from his dad. Screams and panic sobs on the other end. I ignored Zhanzi, collapsing like gray ash, turned and bolted from the storage room. The auditorium was chaos like a kicked hive. Liu Ryan stood on stage like a shattered doll, spotlights beaming down, amplifying her solitude and helplessness. Countless teachers and admins surrounded her, seemingly saying something, but she showed no response, just stared ahead, eyes vacant, as if her soul had been extracted. I rushed the stage, under everyone's shocked stares, shrugged off my suit jacket, wrapped it tightly around her shivering form, shielding her from malicious gazes. Her body was frighteningly cold, like a block of ice. I scooped her up horizontally. She was light as a feather, making my heart ache sharply. She finally stirred a bit in my arms, lifted her head, looked at me with unfocused eyes, full of bewilderment and devastation, like a lost little beast. Come on, it'll take you home. My voice was soft, but carried irresistible force. I carried her, under the gaze of all teachers and students, step by step off the stage, through the crowd, away from the place of her great humiliation, back at my off-campus single apartment. I gently set her on the sofa, poured her a cup of warm honey water. She just hugged her knees, wordless, like a soulless statue. I knew saying "don't be sad now" was pointless. I sat at the computer, fingers flying over the keys. Lines of code cascaded like a waterfall on screen. 10 minutes later, I'd hacked the entire school camera system. Gala night, backstage, dressing room, hallways, every nook, all clear before my eyes. Quickly, I found what I needed. In one clip, Bai Ningbing, alone in the dressing room, sneakily pulled out a spray bottle, misted it over Liu Ryan's gown. Finished, she flashed a vicious, triumphant grin, her pure face now grotesquely warped. The truth was plain. Without hesitation, I bundled that video, with all the messages I'd scraped into minutes, of Bai Ningbing bad-mouthing Liu Ryan behind her back for 2 years, packaged anonymously and posted to the school forum, titled "The Truth Behind Gala Night." The Jade Girl, you know, scheming and ruthless to the core. Done. I closed the laptop and went to the sofa. Liu Ryan unchanged, as if the outside world meant nothing to her. I sighed softly, sat beside her, Silence filled the space, only light breaths. I said nothing, just stayed quietly by her, hoping my presence could offer some solace. She remained still, knees hugged tight, like a wounded bird curled in the dark corner. I reached out, hesitated, then placed my hand on her head, gently stroking like soothing an injured animal. Stroked again softly. Don't be afraid. I said, it's over now, I'm here. The school forum exploded. That video like a heavy bomb, blowing everyone inside out. Those who'd spewed venom at Liu Ryan before, now faces swollen. Oh God, it was by Ningbing all along. That woman's heart is pure poison. You can't judge a book by its cover. Always saw her glued to Liu Ryan like family, stabbing her in the back file. This kind doesn't deserve to be our school's student. Expel her now. Public opinion flipped 180 degrees. Those who'd cursed Liu Ryan, now turned on by Ningbing, apologizing to Liu Ryan and Zhan Zi's family. Within half an hour, plummeted from heaven to hell. News flooded. Dehua Group collapses, stocks plummet, halting trading in a nosedive. Banks called in, debts, partners cut ties overnight. His dad, tied to multiple financial crimes, hauled away for investigation immediately. Everything happened too fast for anyone to react. In the apartment, Liu Ryan finally stirred. She slowly lifted her redrimmed eyes to me, tears like a broken pearl string silently falling. Why? She choked, voice hoarse. Why did you help me? Why indeed, he asked myself too. The moment Mindredding vanished, it hit me. My feelings for her weren't just amusement or cat-teasing anymore. When her noisy inner voice went silent, my world turned deathly quiet too. I'd relied on her, not that wondrous superpower, but her unguarded blazing affection, hot enough for me to hear. When she fell into despair, when that affection signal cut off, I realized how terrified I was to lose her. Terrified of losing that one noisy world that was mine, because I looked into her eyes, each word clear and firm. I like you. Liu Ryan froze. I admired my own bluntness a bit. She stared blankly, tears still clinging to her long lashes, gaping at me, forgetting to cry. Only after a while did she snap to, face flushing scarlet, from cheeks to earlobes. Now what was she thinking in her head? He confessed. Or should we rename our kid? I couldn't guess, but it was surely entertaining. Just then, I felt the sting at my mouth's corner. Liu Ryan noticed too. She scrambled up in a fluster, eyes welling again. You're hurt because of me. Let me get the first aid kit. Watching her buzz around like a headless fly, I finally laughed out loud. Good. My passionately loving girl seemed to be returning. She clumsily dipped a cotton swab in medicine, carefully applying it to my mouth's wound. Her touch feather-light, trembling slightly, afraid of hurting me. This was our closest yet. Close enough to see her lashes quiver, smell her faint scent. No inner voice, but more intimate than ever. She suddenly spoke, breaking the silence. How are you so amazing? She meant the camera hack and handling Zhan Zi. I knew my national genius status would have to come out eventually, but not now. I self-taught some computer skills. Call it a bit of talent. I replied lightly. She owed, seeming to accept it. After all, in her heart, I, the top student, was probably omnipotent. When did you start liking me? Her second question, voice even softer. Head bowed, exposing earlobes red as if bleeding. That question stumped me. When exactly? Was it the first time I heard her jumbled thoughts, finding it funny? Or in the cafeteria when she gushed over the rib I accidentally dropped? Or when Zhan Zi harassed her? And unease welled in me, the urge to protect. I wasn't sure, but I didn't answer. Instead, I turned it back. And you? Why do you like me? I remember we had no interactions before. This was the question I'd always wanted to ask. I saw myself as just an average guy. Looks passable, grades solid. What exactly made this heavenly proud girl notice and stage inner dramas about me for 3 years? Liu Ryan gripped the cotton swab tight, silent for a long while. When I thought she wouldn't reply, she softly recounted something I'd nearly forgotten. Back in freshman year, during an earthquake drill, the alarm blared. Everyone rushed to the field, but you went against the flow back to class. I was trailing not far behind, curious what you were doing. Then I saw you, just to grab the hearing aid, left on the desk by your classmate. Your deskmate was a deaf girl. You stuffed the hearing aid into her hand, told her don't be scared. Liu Ryan looked up, eyes sparkling at me, full of a light I'd never seen, like holding a whole galaxy. That moment, I felt you were different from everyone. You were my god. I was completely stunned. That small thing had truly almost forgotten. I just remembered my deskmate was timid, very reliant on her hearing aid. Without it, she panicked. I only did a tiny thing, but unbeknownst to me in some corner, a pair of eyes. Cherished that moment for years. By Ningbing and Zhanzi's endings were miserable. By Ningbing for deliberately framing Liu Ryan, utterly vile intent, expelled from school on the spot. Her transcript forever stained. Her middle-class parents. Protesting at school was futile. In the end, they slunk away with their daughter. Zhanzi fared worse. Family bankrupt completely. From domineering young master to debtridden wretch. Heard his dad from the shock. Suffered a stroke, hospitalized. He himself for the violence. Detained administratively. The campus storm quickly settled, and Liu Ryan and I became the school's most talked about couple. Walking the paths. Always drawing admiring and envious stares. Liu Ryan at first was unaccustomed. Always tense beside me. Hands unsure where to go. Gradually, she dared take my hand first. One sunny weekend, we sat dating on the campus lawn. She leaned on my shoulder quiet, wine tousling her long hair across my cheek, ticklish strangely so. Just as I thought that familiar voice suddenly lit up like a bulb, ding echoing in my head. His shoulders are so broad, so safe. Is this what a boyfriend feels like? Like a dream. What if he thinks I was a perv before? All day fantasizing about him done for done for. My cool goddess persona totally collapsed. In his heart, I'm surely a lunatic. What if he gets tired of me later? If he finds me too noisy? I paused to beat, then burst out laughing. Could this thing self-repair? Probably her emotions stabilized. Her affection signaled to me, grew strong again. I tilted my head, looked at her small face, full of tension and worrying. Suddenly felt my heart melt. I didn't expose her, just took her hand, placed it in my palm, fingers interlacing, her hand soft, slightly cool, warmed in my hot grip, trembled faintly. Liu Ryan, startled like a fawn, looked up at me. I don't like you because I can hear your thoughts. I looked into her eyes, deadly serious, but am thrilled that the first to hear your noisy world was me. Liu Ryan's eyes widened suddenly, pupils full of shock, like struck by lightning. Hey, he knows. He's always known. Dead no face left. Find a crack to crawl into. Can I flee Earth now? Watching her face blaze red, and her frenzied inner torrent, I couldn't hold back laughing heartily. Doubling over, she flushed in fury, lightly punched my chest. But that punch, light as a kitten's scratch, itchy. Time flew. In a blink, graduation season. I, as outstanding student rep, took the stage to speak. The familiar scene. Just like the day our story began, I stood on stage, gaze piercing the hall, landing in the front row on the girl in white, looking at me with full pride. My Liu Ryan. I cleared my throat into the mic before my speech. I want to confess something about me and my girlfriend. The hall fell pin drop silent, all eyes on me, brimming with curiosity. I looked at Liu Ryan, smiled, recounting word for word that year's scene. Freshman opening ceremony. I sat here, like everyone, listening to the principal drone. But that day a miracle happened. I suddenly heard someone's inner voice. The hall gasped. All eyes swiveled from me to Liu Ryan. Her face reddened at visible speed, from cheeks to neck, hands covering her face, as if seeking a hole to vanish into right there. In my head, her scream of collapse and sweetness rang out. On number 10, you rotten egg. Why say this in front of everyone? I have no face to live. I must leave Earth tonight. But his gaze on me is so tender. My smile deepened. I continued into the mic. I heard her say, hubby, look at me. And her pondering our kids' names. Now I want to answer your question. I pulled from my pocket a prepared velvet box. Under the gaze of all teachers and students, step by step down the stage, to Liu Ryan. In her eyes of shock and emotion, I knelt on one knee, opened the box. Inside a sparkling diamond ring. No betraying time, no betraying you. Liu Ryan, will you marry me? Let me spend a lifetime answering all your questions. Tears streamed from her eyes. She covered her mouth, nodding frantically, sobbing, I do, as I slipped the ring on her finger, hugged her close. Her inner voice channel in my head, like completing a historic mission, vanished completely. A patch of silence. But this time no panic, only utter peace and joy. For from this moment, between us no secrets or shortcuts needed. Our hearts fully open to each other. Her answers, you'll listen to and cherish for a lifetime.